In this video presentation, I will be analyzing, comparing, and contrasting two countries, one with a high individualism score and one with a low individualism score. The two countries I've chosen to compare and contrast are Mexico, which has a score of 34, and Belgium, which has a score of 81 on the individualism scale. In the background, you may hear my puppy, and I apologize for that. Individualism is characterized by individuals looking out only for themselves and their immediate family, while the opposite of individualism, collectivism, is characterized by belonging to groups such as families or organizations who take care of the individual in exchange for loyalty and commitment. I'm going to be analyzing each culture in terms of how the cultural dimension of individualism may affect leadership style, teams, fostering teamwork, or dynamics of teams within each culture. Mexico has a high power distance or a high expectation of those in power, as well as being collective. This is characterized by a higher expectation in managers or people in positions of power, and a high level of deference and almost contentment with an individual's place in society and a willingness to adhere to authority. Mexico also has a shorter term orientation score, which means that there is a shorter timeline when looking forward toward goals or desires being achieved in the society. Mexico, despite these other cultural scores, has a high desire for achievement and a desire to minimize risk, which tends toward a culture that is rooted in collaboration. And obviously, that would impact teams within individual organizations. Mexico as a collectivist culture is characterized by close long-term commitment to the group, family, extended family, organization, etc. And real or perceived danger, such as from something like the COVID-19 pandemic, tends to impact cultures in a collectivist way. Mexico, despite already having a very collectivist culture, was impacted to become even more collectivist during the pandemic, and many other countries were impacted as individualistic cultures to become more collectivist. I am half Mexican myself, and I've seen a lot of the collectivism in my extended family recently, as my grandma in Mexico, my dad's mom, has been nearing the end of her life and very much in poor health. And I found that anytime things take a turn for the worse, my family members from all over Mexico and America are immediately traveling to take shifts, to help watch out for my grandma, to alleviate the burden on some of my other family members who have been caretaking for my grandma for a long time. And this is a good example of collectivist mindset in action, that we, as an extended family, feel that it is our responsibility to remain loyal and caring toward our relatives. So Belgium is highly individualistic. They favor private opinions and believe that their responsibility is to take care of themselves and their immediate family rather than a larger group. They have a score, as I mentioned, of 81. They have higher rates of parental burnout for many individualistic cultures, but Belgium is one that is impacted by this. And their work culture tends toward more contract-based, where they choose work based on their own interests, passions, desires, a desire for work-life balance, and a commitment to being able to self-direct their life and their lifestyle. However, something very noteworthy about Belgium's individualistic culture is that it is also egalitarian in many ways. So though Belgians tend to emphasize their own rights, pleasure, enjoyment, etc., they are highly committed and engaged in their work and show a lot of satisfaction in their work. It's essentially the difference between they are committed and enjoying their work because they tend to choose work that is in service of their own values, their own goals, their own desires. Whereas in a collectivist culture, the commitment to work has a lot more to do with the deference to the hierarchical structure. So I want to analyze some of the role that power plays in team settings in each of these countries. So in Mexico, because they have that deference to power, it's more common to expect that managers have expert knowledge and will be able to provide precise solutions. Mexico has a score of 81 when it comes to being a hierarchical society, meaning that they're more likely to defer to an order, which everyone has their place and authority is respected. This reflects what they perceive to be inherent inequalities, and subordinates are expected, they expect to be told what to do, and they are happy to defer to I don't want to speak toward anyone's feelings, but the structure relies on subordinates' expectation of being told what to do and their willingness to defer. Belgians, though they are also, there's more of a hierarchical structure, despite their individualistic culture, they hold a more self-directing power. So they're committed to their work, but it's because of their commitment to their own happiness, their values, and their part in a wider community, not necessarily deference to the inherent power or expertise of a manager or of someone in a higher position of authority.